Tina Fontaine was 15 when she went missing in Winnipeg in August 2014. Her body later found in the Red River, wrapped up in a duvet cover.
Society, we'd be horrified if somebody if we found a litter of kittens or pups in the river in this condition.
Raymond Joseph Cormier has been charged with second-degree murder in the death of Tina Fontaine.
I'm happy for them, it's a sense of closure.
In the end, the jury was not convinced Cormier was responsible. When the verdict was read out, it was very quiet. It was hard to hear it at first. And then there was an audible gasp through the room. It sounded like disbelief, sorrow, disgust from many people.
Even in cases where the hope for justice is strong, families of Canada's missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls have learned that justice can be a long way away. Cases like Tina Fontaine's galvanized the nation. As a national inquiry continues across the country amidst criticism from some and backlash from others, the perseverance of the families who have lost someone they love never wavers. The lives of the women and girls whose families have shared their stories live in the hearts and prayers of the nation. As we get to know these women and girls, we feel the loss of their lives that they could have lived. On August 18, 2010, we lost a daughter, a mother, and a friend who was a bright light for everyone who knew her, Amber Tuccaro. It was here, near Nisku, Alberta, near Edmonton, on a rural property near Leduc County, that Amber's body was found. The cause of Amber's death has not been released. Amber Alyssa Tuccaro was 20 years old when she left her home in Fort McMurray to go to Edmonton with a friend and her 14-month-old son, Jacob. They stopped in Nisku on August 18, 2010, with plans to go to Edmonton the next day. Amber is from the Mikisew Cree First Nation in Alberta. She and her baby boy lived with her mother at the time of her disappearance. Amber decided to hitchhike into Edmonton the night they arrived. She was never seen alive again. Amber's body was found by horseback riders on September 1st, 2012. At any time during this broadcast or afterward, if you have any information that might help solve the case of the murder of Amber Tuccaro, visit our website. Someone out there has answers. Our goal is to find them. 4 days before Amber's remains were found, RCMP released a cell phone conversation that Amber had had with a man whose identity has not been released and may be unknown. Could this conversation have been Amber's last? Could the RCMP's decision to take Amber off the missing persons list prior to the discovery of her remains have compromised the case? What happened to Amber Tuccaro? Amber was the light of her whole family. She was adopted as a baby and surrounded by love. Amber's brother, Paul Tuccaro, remembers Amber being brought into the family.
My mom, she couldn't have kids after her fourth boy. We got a call, and then mom and dad drove to High Level to go pick her up.
Amber lived with her mother, Vivian Tuccaro, through her pregnancy and up to the time she disappeared. Vivian saw firsthand what a good mom Amber was.
She was really good. She would sing to Jacob all the time, play with him. Like, she really, really loved Jacob. And she was trying to get her own place. Living in Fort McMurray, it's not that easy to just go and get a place. So Amber did go and live at the UNT house. And there they help you, try to find a place, give their resources and stuff like that. And Amber did go and stay there, I think, maybe 3 times, and she'd call me, come pick me up, Mom, right? So I go pick her up. And that's where she met the so-called friend that she went to Edmonton with.
The day of Amber's disappearance, Vivian was sick. Amber's friend, who could not be named because of the ongoing investigation, came to visit and invited Amber to fly from Fort McMurray to Edmonton. They would stay in Nisku, the town that surrounds the Edmonton International Airport, with less expensive hotels than Edmonton, where Amber and her friend planned to go the next day with Jacob.
Amber was in the bedroom with Jacob, and it was on my computer. Then all of a sudden she just yelled, she said, "Okay, Amber, your plane ticket's paid." And I was like, "What? Amber's not going anywhere." Like, even though Amber was 20-year-old, like, I still like to try to tell her what to do, but she had her own mind anyways. It was kind of surprising to me, you know. So I got up and I went and talked to Amber in the bedroom. She was packing her bag. And I told her, "You're not going anywhere. You don't even know this woman well." I said, "You know, to go," because I was always cautious of, you know, people and trying to look after Amber all the time. And she said, "Mom, just for a couple of days," she said, "I'm going to go with her." And then she said she was going to take Jacob. And I was like, "Why? Just leave him with me." "But you're sick, Mom." She said, "I'll just take him just for a couple of days." And I tried to change her mind right till the time that they were leaving. Walk with them to the cab, went downstairs. The more I think about it, and well, I've thought about it like all the time, it just seemed different, you know. And as a mom, I should have known like something was not right. And Amber said, "I love you, Mama," is what she called me. And she kissed me on my cheek and she said, I'll be back in 2 days." And it was the last time I seen Amber.
Constable Ray Shelton of the RCMP's Project CARE, which was formed in response to a number of human remains found in the Edmonton area and now investigates missing persons cases throughout Alberta, speaks to some of the facts of Amber's case in a video they produced to engage anyone who has answers.
On August 17th, 2010, Amber flew from Fort McMurray to Edmonton with her female friend and Amber's 14-month-old son. After arriving at Edmonton International Airport, the three booked into a motel room here in Nisku and spent the night. In the early evening of August 18th, 2010, Amber left the hotel room to find a ride into the city of Edmonton. We know that between 7:30 and 8 o'clock p.m., Amber got into a vehicle with an unknown male. While in that vehicle, Amber received a phone call, and through investigative means, we have obtained a recording of that phone call. That recording includes the voice of the unknown male driver of the vehicle. To date, that individual is unidentified.
It is unclear why Amber decided to hitchhike into Edmonton. Amber's last phone call was recorded, and 1 minute of this recording was released in August 2012. The source of the audio is a conversation Amber had with a brother who is being held in the Edmonton Remand Center at the time where outgoing calls were recorded. The call lasts 17 minutes, but only 1 minute of the recording has been released. Audio that includes Amber's voice and the voice of the unknown driver who picked her up while she was hitchhiking.
I always told her, you know, like, pretend to be on your phone, even if you're not talking to anyone, just so the cab driver or whoever you're catching a ride with will know you're talking to someone, and, you know, just to be safe. And the last call she made, she was on her damn cell phone and didn't freaking help her, right?
Amber was a vibrant young woman who had big dreams. Could a stranger have ended her life, or perhaps a person who is known to her? Is it possible that the failures in the investigation into Amber's death have prevented the possibility of finding the truth? How is Amber's family coping when it seems that all hope for justice is lost? Just days before Amber's remains were discovered by horseback riders in a rural area in Leduc County near Nisku, RCMP released a recording of Amber's voice, the last known time Amber was heard alive. The recording has been available for several years, but it has not yet led to justice. The voices you are about to hear are Amber Tuccaro's and the unknown man who was with her shortly before her murder. It may be difficult to listen to. If you suspect you know the male voice in this recording, or if you have information that might help solve the case of the murder of Amber Tuccaro, visit our website.
Where are we by?
We're just heading south of Beaumont, or north of Beaumont.
We're heading north of Beaumont. Yo, where are we going? No, this is a... Are you kidding me? You better not be taking me anywhere I don't want to go. I want to go into the city. Jeez. Yo, we're not going in the city, are we?
We're going.
No, we're not.
Yes.
Then where are these roads going to?
50th Street.
50th Street. Are you sure?
Absolutely.
Yo, where are we going?
50th Street.
50th Street?
50th Street.
East, right?
East.
Over town.
Travel.
South.
Amber's voice haunts those who seek answers in her murder. Who could have targeted her? There have been many rumors, but Amber's family deserves closure. Her brother, Paul Tuccaro, tries to remember the good times with Amber when she was younger, and he would take care of her.
So there was one time her and a friend there, they took off, whatever, and then they took off running in a bush. And that was a funny story because I knew they seen me, and I was coming with the vehicle, so I was like, you know what, they just took off in a bush. And I was running after them, and they were laughing, and then I was chasing them, then they were quiet. We were trying to listen for each other, and then all of a sudden, they popped up, and I always used to tell her, I said, Amber, I'm always going to find you, you know? And no matter where you go, I'm going to find you, and I'm going to bring you home.
Paul remembers Amber being raised to be a tomboy by her big brothers.
Well, her music was rap music at the time, which I used to call rap crap. Like she would play it loud, but Amber used to like singing and dancing. She wasn't the best, but she thought she was, right? And she'd always tell me, because I'd laugh at her, like, turn that down, like I'm being too noisy or whatever. And that music was giving me a headache anyways. And she used to tell me, one of these days, Mom, you're gonna see me on a big sign. She said, I'm gonna be a big star. And Amber was on a big sign, not as she thought she would be, right?
Tracy Bear is the assistant professor within the Faculty of Native Studies and the Department of Women's and Gender Studies at the University of Alberta. She is also the director for the Indigenous Women's Resilience Project. Tracy has a unique and powerful perspective when it comes to the vulnerabilities of Indigenous women and girls.
I know a lot of the media has talked about the vulnerability of Indigenous women, and it's not so much that I have a problem with the word vulnerable. I think we have vulnerable populations. But one of the things I think that differentiates Indigenous women and having the word vulnerable is that Indigenous women aren't vulnerable. What they are is targeted.